So, starting our normal daily review of things with the daily chart of the ES. And obviously a very strong move up yesterday. And that means we do have to consider whether the 4 is in here and we've got a 1, 2. It's not what I think is happening. I think this is just a more complex wave 4 that's going to drag it out in time a little longer. But if we come and look at the 2-hour chart here, so this was the move up off the early February low. And at the moment, I'm labeling this as a WXY. So just ABC. So the ABC for the W was the move down into the February low. You get another ABC back, which we label as an X wave, and then a final A, B, C down for the Y wave. This move down technically is picture perfect. As a diagonal, it's proportionate all the way down and hit all the right fibs. We've got the most oversold MACD reading at the bottom of the 3. It is literally picture perfect. So it's a question of then, is that a 2 back, or is that the A, we get the B, and we get the C? Now, this is quite common in what you see with Elliott wave analysis, in that if I go to the 15-minute chart now and give the bullish count the benefit of the doubt. So this is the 2. We've got a 1, 2, and yesterday's move up was part of the 3 of the bigger wave 1 off that wave 2 low. The 618, these bright orange fibs, so that's based on the larger 1, 2, suggests that we should come up here to 27.22. These dark red fibs down here are the length of this one projected up off the bottom of this 2. You can see overnight we've come up and hit the 1618 on the nose for a 3. We should therefore pull back in a 4 and get the 5th up if the move to the downside is complete. But that level is smack in line in the middle of this target box for a B wave. So the tell is going to be the retrace. Okay, so if we get up here, it's a question of then watching these retracement fibs here, the 618 and the 764 in particular, so 2614 to 2590, and seeing if we get an ABC structure down. Bear in mind, if we're going to get a C wave down, it should be a 5-wave impulse, and we should be able to tell that relatively clearly on the way down. But we get an ABC into one of these fibs that holds, that would be quite a nice swing long entry, and it should afford us a very tight stop. So there's no rush to start panicking that we've missed anything here. Let's let this tell us what's happening. Not convinced about the structure of that up either as a wave 1, but wave 1s at this degree are often fairly difficult to discern the subwaves in. So let's see if we continue on up in an impulse structure over the course of the next day or so, and then look at the retrace. And that's true, is that the emails I put out this morning, it's true in the Dow and it's true in the NDX as well. The count is more suspect in the Russell. Okay, so moving on and looking at the YM, same thing, W, X, and then an A, B, C. If we're going to get the 1, 2, the labels are on there. The levels are correct in terms of where I've placed these labels with all the fibs on. We should come up here, 24,974, drop back down to 23,927 area, and then take off. Okay, so that's assuming that the low's in over here, and we've got a 1, 2 structure to the upside. Otherwise, I'm looking for this area, 24,827 to 25,256 for a B wave, and then another drop. And that is still, the 1, 2 is very, very much an alternative count, but one has to consider it. It's as simple as that, so it's on there. The NDX, exactly the same thing. 3, A, B, C. Now, slightly different here in that if you look at these pink fibs, if I take the length of this move down into the February low and project it off the top of this this high here, the lows in the pre-market hit this 1.0 on the nose, and this is the running flat that I was talking about, the A, B, C. So the B wave makes a higher high than the origin of the wave, and therefore the C wave makes a higher low than the A wave. So it's possible we've got an A, B, C right into that 1.0 extension, and we've shot out of that. So again, what I'm watching here is a 1, 2, and we need to get a 3, 4, 5 up to the 69.51 area in the Nasdaq in order for that to play out. Again, not my expectation, but it's on there so that we can keep an eye on it and not be caught unawares if that is what plays out. Coming back then and looking at CL this morning, and I've still got this very unclear structure in the hourly chart. I'm reasonably comfortable with this as a 1 down here, but it's a case of what's going on here. If we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're getting the 5th of 3 down. So at the moment, I'm looking down still in CL to see if we can get down here to this 60.97. The alternative is we've got a 1, 2, 3 in a diagonal to the 123.6. The move up yesterday was the A wave of the 4. We're in a B back now, so we'll hold above 62.06 and then come up here to 64.69 before we drop in a 5th. All of that would then be the initial wave 1 down, and we would get another deep retrace before this thing starts to gain any kind of momentum to the downside that we're looking for in CL. Meanwhile, day trading levels, you can see we're off the overnight highs. There's your levels for today, and see what it gives us later on. GC. So we've come down further overnight. We've taken this initial level out that I was looking for, this 13.32 from yesterday. Next level to watch is 13.25. We need to take that out as well. We could have a 1, 2, 1, 2 structure here to the downside, but ultimately I'm looking for this to come down to 13.13 next, and then 13.02. So I'm just looking for this final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to our target at 12.85 to complete this wave 2 before looking to get long in GC. Meanwhile, just day trading is the way to play it. I didn't day trade it yesterday, and that's just neglect on my part. I wasn't paying attention. But the last 2 days, it's been one of the cleaner charts to day trade for us compared to others. And NG. So as I say, in NG, I've got this potential 1, 2, 1, 2, and another 1, 2. I suspect, and it's why I took the position off yesterday, we'd got a 4 or 5% in a couple of days. Take that, don't take the risk, and watch this down here. And the other part of my rationale there was that it's just a messy pattern. The account that I trade these ETFs in personally, so I separate funds for what I'm doing. So I have one that's entirely for stocks, another that is for the leveraged ETFs. And on that leveraged ETF fund, I look to make between 5 and 10% per month overall. So just these tiny little wins here and there rather than losses. And they, on the months where I don't achieve what I'm looking for, but I still get something. And that makes all the difference over the course of the year. And as you know, I tend to err to the side of caution if I'm unsure. And the thing with NG is if you come over here, this is a horrible, horrible mess. And we're not out of the area here or the vicinity where all of this could be a 4 and we still haven't got this 2 in. That is still possible in NG. So hence the kind of kid gloves with trading the 3 times leveraged ETF. Remember, it is 3 times leveraged when you're using DGAS and UGAS. They are brutal and unforgiving when you get it completely wrong. So NG, that's what I've got this morning, and here's the day trading chart at the moment. So 27.15, we get back above there, then you can take a day trade along with futures, which I'm not averse to doing that. I'm just going to leave the ETF until it proves itself. Okay, quick look at the UK and European markets and currencies this morning. So if this is still a 4 in this diagonal in the FTSE, we're just coming up to the 764 retrace at the top of our target zone now, 71.61. Here's your invalidation level, the red line on the charts I put out first thing with the day trading charts in the FTSE. If we get over that, then something else is playing out in the UK FTSE, and I would need to go back to the next time frames up and consider that. German DAX, similar. We're right in the zone here. 12,275 is the area to watch for the completion potentially of this 4. And excuse me a moment while this, for completion of this 4 at the top of this target zone here. It's the 764 back of the 3 off the top of the 2, and then this final drop down to complete into the fibs that we've been looking for a long time in the German DAX, in actual fact. Then the currencies. So DXY has started to accelerate to the upside here. So it looks to me like this is still a 3 and it's going to extend. So looking at 90.64 next for the 2.0 for this 3. Then we still need a 4.5 to finish it. And I want to see this pattern take us over that 91 resistance, which I've mentioned for months now in the DXY. Similarly, in the euro, we've come down, we've hit our target in actual fact, or one of them, which is this 1618 for the final diagonal. This is the 15-minute chart. So off the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's come down and hit the 1618. If the DXY is going to continue to the upside, then this is going to continue down. But just make sure we've got quite a lot of pips in profit in this, because I'll go to the hourly chart. We got short all the way up here. So whatever you've got left on, just keep trailing your stops down, because this should be towards the end of the wave 1 of this 3. Then we're going to get the move back up, which it will probably take out most of your profits. So don't give them all back. And we'll look for the next entry for the 3 of 3 later on, once we get up towards the 618, 764 retrace levels. Sterling finally coming down. The pattern is not as clear as in the euro, but if this is the 4, then we should be in a 1, 2 and get a 3, 4, 5 to complete this 3 down to the 139.13 area, then the 4, then the 5. But as I say, it's nowhere near as clean. But all of that then would be for its wave 1 off this 2. So you've got a 1, 2, you get another 1, 2, then it should let go. Okay. US dollar, Japanese yen is within a few pips of invalidating this diagonal, this 107.30 up here. Take that out, and then that would be indicative that this B wave that I'm looking to complete is in here. And it wouldn't surprise me to see that. I've had the Hurst weekly cycles pointing up for some time now, expecting a sustained move up in this pair, which is this C up here that I'm looking for, and I'm looking to get on board for that. You can, by the way, play currencies with ETFs as well as futures. So if you go to the DFB, etfdb.com site that I pointed you at, it will give you all the various ETFs and leveraged ETFs on futures, on currencies, and they can be gentler than just doing it with futures or directly buying the currencies through FCXM if you do that. And then Australian dollar, I think we've still got higher in this 4. Okay, so off the B, this diagonal 1, 2, 3, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. We came down here, 764 retrace on the nose this morning and have bounced. And I think we've got this final 5th in a diagonal up to complete this 4 before the drop here. That all matches in with that weekly Hurst cycles chart, which has been absolute gold dust in Australia and in the Australian dollar. So that's expecting several more weeks of downside before we get the cycles complete to turning up again. And once I see that and the fib hit, then I'll be looking to get long off this area here, 75, 72, for this C wave up to the 123.6 extension off the daily chart, which is up at 84.89. So a really nice potential swing trade setting up there in the Australian dollar. And Bitcoin is down again this morning. If it breaks this support zone, then it's something much more immediately bearish is playing out in Bitcoin, and you've possibly got a 1 2 1 2, and it's just going to let go. The ultimate target for this wave 4 is all the way down at 2,500 in Bitcoin. So I'm looking down here, 2474 to just on 3,000 level before we start the next move up in Bitcoin. But at the moment, I still think it would look better if we came up and got a C wave up. But this low and then the support zone shown on the hourly chart is what to watch for. Technicals are diverging, so they are suggesting that we are going to get a move to the upside rather than continue on down at this point in time in Bitcoin. Okay, that's what I've got pre-market. Just flipping back to the ES for a moment, there was a potential scalp there. We've got this A, B, and we hit the 764, 786 cluster. But bear in mind, we've got to be careful with this thing. The count is very unclear. So we just need to tight stops, and if the things start to go against you, just jump out with the day trading with the futures in this thing. And I haven't got anything from a swing trader's perspective as yet.